20 best games to play on your PS5 right now. Black Myth Wukong. This one actually lives up to the hype, and it's freaking wild how good it turned out. It's one of those rare games that looks amazing in trailers and then somehow still surprises you when you play it. The visuals are nuts. Easily one of the best looking games on PS5 right now. You've got these dense, moody forests, ancient temples lit by lanterns, massive snowy mountains. It all feels like a dark fantasy movie you actually get to play through. You play as the Destined One, a monkey warrior loosely based on Sun Wukong from Journey to the West, and the whole journey revolves around finding 6 relics tied to his senses. The story's got that mythological, mysterious tone. It doesn't spoon-feed everything, but it keeps pulling you in deeper with each boss, each weird creature, and all the strange places you explore. Combat here feels super tight, it's fast, responsive, and hits hard. There's some Soulsborne influence for sure. You gotta dodge, parry, learn enemy patterns, but it's not as punishing. You've also got a bunch of cool abilities, like turning into different creatures mid-fight or casting flashy spells. The staff feels heavy and sharp at the same time, and when you pull off a clean combo, it just feels good. Some boss fights are straight up epic too. Massive monsters with unique designs, weird gimmicks, and intense animations. This thing exploded on Steam and consoles when it launched. Millions of people jumped in, and for good reason. It's one of the most unique action RPGs we've had in years. It's not perfect, some people ran into bugs here and there, and a few cutscenes drag a bit, but overall this is a must play if you've got a PS5 and even a little love for action games or myth-heavy stories. The Astro Bot. Astro Bot is just pure fun. Like, this game is straight up joy-packed into a little robot dude. It dropped on PS5 in late 2024, and honestly, it's one of the most chill and creative games you can play right now. No stress, no complicated stuff, just a good time. You play as this tiny robot Astro, and you're going through all these different planets trying to rescue your crew, and every level is super different. One minute you're jumping through a beach with crazy waves, the next you're dodging lasers in space. The game keeps mixing things up so it never gets boring. The controls feel smooth, and the game just plays really well. It's made by Team Asobi, the same team that did Astro's Playroom, and they know how to make the PS5 feel cool. They use all the controller features, the triggers, the touchpad, the little speaker, so it feels like the controller's part of the game. It's kind of hard to explain until you try it, but it makes the game feel more alive. There's also a lot of charm. Astro's got these funny little animations, and there are robots dressed up like characters from other PlayStation games hiding all over the place. You'll see little nods to God of War, Uncharted, Bloodborne, and a ton of others. It's fun spotting them if you've played those games. If you've got a PS5 and you haven't tried Astro Bot yet, you're missing out on one of the most fun little adventures out there. God of War Ragnarok. So yeah, God of War Ragnarok is one of those games that just hits hard no matter what kind of games you're into. If you played the 2018 one, this is the follow-up. God of War Ragnarok is one of those games that just sticks with you. Not because it's loud or flashy, but because everything it does with purpose. It's not trying to be cool, it just is. From the moment you start, it feels like a proper continuation of Kratos and Atreus' story, like you never really left. You're thrown right into it. Fimbulwinter's in full swing, the world feels colder and more dangerous, and that father-son dynamic has changed. Atreus is older now, he questions things more, tries to find his own path, and you can feel that tug-of-war between him and Kratos throughout the whole game. Kratos, man, you can tell he's tired, not weak, just emotionally worn out, and that adds a lot to the story. It's not just about smashing monsters anymore, it's about trying to be a better person, even when your whole life has been about violence. The combat is sharp as hell, that Leviathan axe still feels heavy and satisfying, and the Blades of Chaos, man, when you start swinging those again, it's like muscle memory kicks in. They've added new abilities, new skill trees, and more ways to fight, but it never feels overwhelming. It just feels like you're getting better alongside Kratos. Some fights are small and brutal, others are these massive cinematic boss fights that feel straight out of a movie, but they never drag. They're just intense in the right way. And the world, to him it's gorgeous. Each realm feels totally different. You're not just moving through different backdrops, you're exploring places that feel like they actually exist. There are puzzles, side quests, little character moments tucked away in quiet corners. You're encouraged to slow down and look around. Not everything's about violence. Sometimes you're just sitting in a boat listening to a story and it's somehow more interesting than the last 10 cutscenes you saw in other games. What makes this game really hit is the way it balances the epic with the personal. Yeah, you've got gods and giants and world-ending threats, but at the core, it's about a dad and his kid trying to figure each other out. And it's done with so much care. It doesn't talk down to you, doesn't throw plot twists just to be clever. It trusts you to keep up, and when things finally come to a head, it hits hard. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the series, it doesn't really matter. You're getting one of the biggest, most ambitious games on PS5 right now. It's massive, not just in size, but in how much it tries to do, and somehow it actually pulls it off. The world opens up way more than it did in Remake. You're not stuck in a single city anymore. You're exploring full regions now. Forests, deserts, towns, all kinds of places with their own vibe. And the cool thing is, each spot feels like it matters. They're not just pretty for the sake of it. There are side quests, weird characters, mini games, hidden bosses. It never feels empty. You're always finding something new, even hours in. Combat's where things get really fun. It mixes real-time action with those classic RPG moves, and it just clicks. You've got a full party now too, and you can swap between characters mid-fight. It's not just Cloud slashing away. Everyone brings something different. You've got Tifa bouncing around with fast combos, Barrett shooting from a distance, Aerith casting spells. It's like a fighting puzzle, and you've got to figure out what works best against each enemy. It keeps you on your toes without being annoying. The story is, yeah, it gets weird, but actually in a good manner. If you played the original back in the day, this version messes with your expectations, but not in a bad way. It adds more detail, more time with the characters, more emotion. You get to actually hang out with the crew, learn about them, see them joke around and fight and argue. By the time stuff gets serious, you care about everyone, not just Cloud. Also, the graphics here looks amazing, not just in the cutscenes, but during gameplay too. The lighting, the animations, the level design, it all just feels polished and alive. And that soundtrack, still top tier. Classic tracks reworked in new ways, plus a bunch of new stuff that fits perfectly. And then there's all the random side stuff. Chocobo races, card games, combat simulators, optional bosses that absolutely wreck you if you're not ready. This game is packed. Like, it's one of those games where 30 hours in, you feel like you're still discovering how deep it goes. Rebirth doesn't feel like just the middle chapter of a trilogy. It's its own full, meaty game. It respects the original, sure, but it's also trying to do its own thing, and it's working. Whether you're here for the nostalgia or just want a badass RPG to get lost in, this one's worth every hour. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Big Jedi Survivor picks up right where Fallen Order left off, and man, it does pretty much everything better. Cal Kestis isn't just some Padawan anymore. He's older, stronger, way more confident, and you really feel that when you start playing. The combat's tighter, the world's bigger, and the story hits harder. Right out the gate, the game throws you into chaos. Things are rough in the galaxy, the Empire's tightening its grip, and Cal's trying to keep fighting without losing himself. It's a darker story, but it never feels forced. Cal's grown up, and the writing reflects that. There's this constant struggle between doing the right thing and just surviving, and the game leans into that tension without dragging it out too long. Now let's talk about the gameplay. This is where it really shines. They added new lightsaber stances, and they all feel legit. You can play fast and flashy with dual sabers, or go heavy and slow with a crossguard stance that feels like it was ripped straight from Kylo Ren. The movement's smoother too, wall running, double jumping, using the Force mid-combat. It all flows together better than before. You actually feel like a Jedi this time, not someone trying to be one. Oh, and yeah, the planets are way more open. They're not fully open world, but there's a ton to explore now. You've got hidden areas, puzzles, optional bosses that'll wreck you if you're not paying attention, and loads of little lore bits scattered around. It's the kind of game where you'll tell yourself just one more side path, and then suddenly it's 2 a.m. Some areas have actual verticality now too. You're climbing, gliding, and diving through these massive environments that just feel more alive. Also, BD1 is still the best little droid ever, and some returning faces from the first game get more time to shine. So overall, Jedi Survivor is a great experience. Alan Wake 2. This game's a trip. If you like weird stories, creepy settings, and that slow burn kind of suspense that just builds and builds, this one's gonna get under your skin in the best way. It's been over a decade since the first game, and this one doesn't just pick up where it left off. It goes deeper, darker, and way more intense. You're not just playing as Alan this time either. You switch between him and a new FBI agent, Saga Anderson, and both stories are super connected. It's like two different perspectives on the same messed up nightmare, and you're flipping between them trying to piece it all together. The vibe of this game is crazy. It's not just horror in the jump scare way, it's unsettling. Like everything feels just a little bit off. The forests, the small towns, the creepy buildings, everything's got this eerie, quiet tension to it. You're constantly wondering what's real and what's not, and the game does a really good job of messing with your head. Gameplay wise, it's slow and deliberate. It's not run and gun action. You gotta be careful, conserve ammo, shine your flashlight to weaken enemies, and really stay alert. The pacing's slower than most games, but that's part of what makes it so tense. It gives you time to soak in the atmosphere and dread what's around the next corner. The writing's pretty good too. If you played Control or the original Alan Wake, you'll catch a lot of little details and weird connections between everything. Remedy really built a whole weird shared universe, and Alan Wake 2 leans into that hard. It's full of mystery, strange symbols, cryptic notes, all that stuff that makes you want to pause and think for a second. It's not always easy to follow, but it's rewarding if you're into storytelling that actually makes you think. Graphics here are insane as well, like some parts straight up look like a horror movie. The lighting, shadows, and environmental detail really carry the whole experience. And the sound design is wild too. Ambient noises, whispering voices, sudden shifts in music. Though I will say it's not for everybody. If you want fast-paced action or super simple gameplay, this ain't that. But if you want a horror game that feels smart, weird, and genuinely creepy and uneasy vibes, Alan Wake 2 hits different. It's one of those games that doesn't just try to scare you, it tries to stick in your brain long after you turn it off.
Converge on the facility now.
Days Gone. Okay, here we go with Days Gone again. We have the remastered version of Days Gone now for the PS5 and PC as well. Now, even though it was originally a PS4 game, you know, I just had to mention it. Maybe if the remaster gets enough sales, we will see Days Gone 2 and the continuation of that story after that ending. But anyway, Days Gone is one of those games people slept on when it came out, but honestly, it's a solid ride, especially now with the PS5 upgrades. It's not perfect, but if you're into open world games with a heavy story and some chaos in between, it's got a lot to offer. You play as Deacon St. John, a biker dude turned drifter in a world wrecked by a freaking virus that turned most people into these fast, violent, zombie-like things called freakers. It's not just about survival though, there's actually a decent emotional core here. Deacon's not just killing time and shooting monsters, he's out here trying to figure out if the person he lost is still alive. And yeah, it's pretty rough out there. The world's gone to hell, and you really feel that.
We don't have hope.
The gameplay loop is chill in that post-apocalyptic kind of way. Ride your bike across the countryside, stop at camps, do jobs, scavenge for gear, fix your bike when it breaks, and oh yeah, try not to get swarmed by hundreds of freakers at once. Those hordes are no joke. You could be chilling 1 second and then hear this terrifying rumble, turn around, and there's like 300 infected sprinting at you. It gets your heart going. The bike's a huge part of the game too. You have to fuel it, repair it, and upgrade it. It sounds annoying, but it actually makes you more careful about what you're doing. The world feels more dangerous because you can't just fast travel everywhere. You've got a plan, and sometimes just getting from point A to B becomes a mini adventure. There's also a bunch of side content, clearing out enemy camps, hunting down bounties, wiping out freaker nests. None of it's groundbreaking, but it builds that survival world pretty well, and Deacon grows on you. At first he's kind of a gruff, angry guy, but as the story moves forward, you see more of his human side. The writing isn't always the best, but you can tell they tried to make him feel real.
What does it matter if everyone else is dead?
Cyberpunk 2077. You're in Night City, this massive neon-soaked dystopian future where everyone's either jacked into something or trying to climb their way out of the gutter. You play as V, and you can pretty much shape your V however you want. Street Kid, Corpo, Nomad. Each one gives you a little bit of backstory and changes how people talk to you throughout the game. And yeah, Keanu Reeves is here as Johnny Silverhand, this rockstar rebel ghost stuck in your head, and the dude steals the show more often than not. The world itself is insane. You can just walk around Night City for hours and not even do missions, just take in the vibes, talk to people, check out the weird ads, the random convos, the weird side gigs. It actually feels alive, like it's not just some fake city. It's got grime, noise, shady deals, and broken people trying to survive. It's messy in a good way. Combat's a mix of gunplay, hacking, and straight up chaos. You can go stealthy and sneak through cameras and back doors, or you can roll in with shotguns, smart weapons, and a bunch of cyberware that makes you feel like a damn superhero. Want to jump 10 feet in the air and slow time while slicing people with mantis blades? You can. Or hack someone's brain till they fry themselves. The build variety is nuts now, especially after the Big 2 update. And the story? It's heavy. It's about identity, control, mortality, and a lot of messed up choices. Some parts hit harder than expected. You're not saving the world, you're just trying to not lose yourself in it. The side quests are just as strong, if not better than the main story. Characters like Panem, Judy, River, Carrie, they stick with you. These aren't just fetch quests. You're building real connections, and the choices actually affect stuff. PS5 version is smooth too. 60 FPS, great lighting, barely any bugs now. It runs way better than before, and the whole experience feels tighter, cleaner, and just more finished. If you skipped this one early on because of the drama, now's the time to give it another shot. Cyberpunk 2077 went from a mess to something kind of special. It's not perfect, but it's definitely one of the most interesting and stylish games you can play on PS5 right now.
No fun. Max tap. Time to tilt out.
Uncharted: The Legacy of Thieves collection. This collection includes Uncharted 4: A Thief's End and Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Both of these are standalone enough to play, even if you missed the earlier ones. But yeah, you'll appreciate the story more if you know what Nathan Drake's been through. Uncharted 4 is like the final chapter in Nate's story. He's older now, trying to settle down, but of course, that doesn't last long. His long-lost brother shows up, there's some buried treasure involved, and boom! He's back in the game. This one's more grounded and emotional than the earlier games, but it still throws wild action scenes at you. One minute you're exploring a calm jungle, next you're in a gunfight on top of a collapsing tower, then you're dragging behind a truck in a full-on chase. It's nuts. Then there's Lost Legacy, which swaps out Nate for Chloe and Nadine. It's shorter, more focused, and honestly just as fun. Their banter is solid, the pacing feels tight, and the Indian setting gives it a unique flavor. It's basically more of what people love about Uncharted, but with a fresh dynamic. On PS5, both games run super smooth, 60 FPS, fast loading, better visuals. You really notice the difference in the big cinematic moments. The water looks clean, the lighting pops more, and it all just feels polished. Plus, the DualSense stuff adds a bit of kick to the action, which is cool. This isn't some massive remake or anything, but it's a clean way to play two of the best adventure games out there. You're getting treasure hunting, beautiful locations, solid characters, big set pieces, and that mix of puzzles and shootouts Uncharted is known for.
And some guns. And some guns.
Sorry, mate.
Silent Hill 2 Remake. So yeah, Silent Hill 2 Remake, it's wild seeing this classic brought back like this. If you played the original, this hits hard. And if you didn't, you're in for something really different. This isn't your usual horror game that just throws jump scares every few minutes. It's more about mood, atmosphere, and slow creeping dread. You play as James Sunderland, this regular guy who gets a letter from his dead wife. She's telling him to meet her in Silent Hill, this fog-covered abandoned town that feels off the second you step into it. And yeah, it only gets worse from there. It's a personal story, and honestly, the horror hits more because of that. It's not just monsters and blood. This game makes you feel something. Sadness, guilt, regret. It's heavy. The remake keeps the same story and tone, but updates the gameplay to feel more modern. You've got over-the-shoulder camera now, better controls, and more natural movement. It's still kind of clunky at times, but in a way that fits the vibe. You're not supposed to feel like an action hero here, you feel vulnerable. And the combat's not the main focus. It's there, but it's more about surviving and pushing through the nightmare. The fog, the lighting, the way shadows move, everything makes you feel like something's lurking just out of sight. The sound design is brutal too. You'll hear stuff in the distance and just stand still, not wanting to move forward. And the music by Akira Yamaoka still absolutely carries. That piano theme still hits. They also didn't mess with the core of what made the original special. Pyramid Head's still here. That weird psychological horror, still here. The messed up creatures that represent all the stuff James is dealing with, yeah, all of it's here, just way more detailed and disturbing. This isn't the kind of horror game you speedrun or mess around in. It's slow, emotional, and it messes with your head. But if you're down for a dark, story-driven experience that actually respects your intelligence and doesn't spoon-feed everything, Silent Hill 2 Remake is worth it. It's not perfect, but it stays true to what made the original a classic, and in some ways it even makes it better. Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 on PS5 is just straight up fun, no overthinking, no filler. It's just a game that knows what it is and does it well. You get to play as both Peter and Miles this time, switching between them almost instantly, and it makes the whole thing feel way more alive. They nailed the swinging again, man. It's smoother, faster, and with the new web wings, you can literally fly through the city. You catch the wind tunnels and just glide across Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens like it's nothing. And the DualSense stuff, it makes it feel even better. You feel the tension of the web, the hits in combat. It's not just visual anymore, it's physical. The story is solid too. You've got Peter dealing with the whole symbiote situation and Miles trying to figure out where he fits in. There's real character stuff here, not just superhero cliches. And yeah, when Venom shows up, things get messy fast. The game gets darker, but not in a forced, edgy way. It still feels like a Spidey story, just with more weight. Combat's way more dynamic this time. Both characters have their own skill trees and powers, so switching between them isn't just for show. Miles has his electric and stealth stuff, while Peter gets that wild symbiote arm action. You feel like a beast when you're fully upgraded. Plus, the finishers are so damn satisfying. Now, only thing I wished Spider-Man 2 had was it should have been longer. You will know after playing and will definitely agree the game felt a bit rushed in the length department, but overall, if you liked the first two games, this one's just more of everything, but tighter and better paced. It doesn't waste your time, and it doesn't try to be anything it's not. It's just Spider-Man being awesome, with two characters you care about, a city that's fun to explore, and combat that never gets old. It's one of those games that feels good to play even after you beat it. You'll want to 100% it just to stay in that world a little longer. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Hey, we are back as Henry of Skalitz, and time to continue the epic adventure. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 isn't your usual RPG. It's not flashy or loaded with magic and monsters. It's grounded, raw, and way more focused on realism than most games even try to be. And honestly, that's what makes it special. If you played the first one, this picks up right where it left off. You're still Henry, the blacksmith's son, thrown into the middle of a brutal medieval war, trying to survive and find your place in the chaos. What really stands out here is how it respects your time and intelligence. There's no hand-holding, you've got to learn how to fight properly, none of that button mashing. Sword fights feel like actual duels. Timing, positioning, and stamina matter. You mess up, you die. But when you win a tough fight, it feels earned. The world is straight up beautiful too. The game's set in 1400s Bohemia and it's full of dense forests, muddy villages, and giant stone castles. It's not stylized or overdone, everything looks and feels authentic. And you can tell the devs cared a lot about getting the history right. From the food people eat to how towns are built, it all feels believable. There's a crazy amount of detail here and it pulls you into that world without trying too hard. Story-wise, it's still all about revenge and loyalty. Henry's journey is way more personal this time. You're not some chosen one or big hero. You're just a guy caught in a nasty war trying to do what's right. You meet characters that aren't just there to push quests, they feel real. Some you'll like, some you'll hate, and your choices actually shift how things go down. There's also a new dog companion named Mutt. Yeah, that's his name. He follows you around, helps in combat, and yeah, you can pet him. He's not just a gimmick either. He feels like part of your crew. The devs also added some cool stuff for later down the road, like more hardcore modes and story expansion, so even after you're done with the main game, there's more to look forward to. Bottom line, if you want a game that feels real, where choices matter and nothing is spoon-fed to you, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is worth your time. It's slow, it's tough, but it pulls you in and doesn't let go. You gotta be patient with it, but if you're down for a different kind of RPG, this one hits hard.
You have to fight till the bitter end.
A Plague Tale Requiem.
Don't! It won't happen now!
This one has one of the best graphics or art style I have seen in any recent games. A Plague Tale Requiem is one of those story-heavy games that actually sticks with you after the credits roll. It picks up right after Innocence, with Amicia and Hugo still trying to escape all the chaos. You can feel how tired and broken they are, but they keep going anyway. The story's dark, emotional, and honestly kind of stressful. And it's just all about survival, family, and just trying to hold on to some kind of hope when everything around you is falling apart. Gameplay-wise, it's way more refined than the first one. Amicia gets a crossbow now, so combat feels more intense. You're not just sneaking around and throwing rocks like before. You can actually fight back when things get real, but it's still not an action game. You're better off being smart than going full Rambo. They also brought back that creepy rat swarm mechanic, and now there's even more rats on screen than before. It gets wild, especially in some of the bigger areas where you're trying to sneak past guards while the rats are going nuts in the background. The graphics are beautiful, like no joke, some of the best looking environments I've seen. Everything feels detailed and alive, even when it's super grim. The lighting, the weather, the way characters move, it's all super polished, and the music hits at just the right moments. It's emotional, eerie, and just fits the mood perfectly. If you like the first game, you'll probably love this one. It's bigger, deeper, and way more intense. And if you're into strong narrative games with stealth, puzzles, and emotional storytelling, this one's 100% worth a play. Not the most fun game in a lighthearted way, but it's powerful and memorable. Definitely not just a one and done type of game. It leaves a mark.
I know. Think of your brother. We have to carry on. Oh no.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle feels like one of those games where you can tell the devs really cared about capturing the feel of the movies. Like, it's not just using the name for nostalgia, it actually plays like a solid Indiana Jones adventure. You've got the whip, the puzzles, the ancient tombs, and of course, Indy being Indy, sarcastic, stubborn, and always getting into trouble. The pacing is pretty chill. It's not some over-the-top, non-stop action game. You get moments to breathe, explore, solve stuff, and then boom, suddenly you're in a fight or outrunning something crazy. It's got that classic adventure movie vibe where things start slow, then go wild, and yeah, there's Nazi punching. It wouldn't be an indie game without that. Gameplay is a mix of action, platforming, and puzzle solving. Think Uncharted, but a little more old school. The whip isn't just for combat either. You use it to swing across gaps, grab stuff, or even disarm enemies. And the puzzles are decent, nothing too insane, but they make you stop and think without being annoying. Visually, the game looks nice, not the best thing ever, but the environments have a lot of detail, ruins, temples, jungles, all that. It does a good job of making you feel like you're actually out on an adventure. And the voice acting, solid. Indie sounds like indie, and that really helps sell the whole vibe. Overall, it's not trying to reinvent anything, and that's kind of the point. It just gives you a good, straightforward adventure with that classic feel. If you've ever liked Indiana Jones, or even stuff like Tomb Raider or Uncharted, this one's worth checking out. It knows exactly what it is, and that's what makes it work. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is just one of those games that's straight up good vibes. Like, you start playing and it instantly puts a smile on your face. It's colorful, it's loud, and it never really slows down. It's got that old school fun mixed with crazy good visuals. The shooting and movement feel real smooth. The game throws a ton of weapons at you, and they're all super different. Like, one turns bad guys into cubes, another makes a bunch of mini explosions. It never gets boring because you're always switching stuff up, and the fights feel more like fun chaos than stress. You're just jumping around, blasting everything, and it feels great. That whole rift thing, where you pull yourself through dimensions in real time, it sounds kinda gimmicky at first, but it's actually dope. You can fly across the map in seconds, or warp into a totally new area with zero loading. It's one of those things where you're like, yeah, this is what next gen should feel like. The whole game's just easy to enjoy, it's not trying too hard, it just gives you a good time. The writing's funny, the animation is super clean, and the worlds are packed with little details. Like, you'll go from a shiny space station to a swampy jungle, and they all feel different and cool to explore. Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is one of those games that just pulls you in and keeps you there. It's not even just the combat or the story, it's the whole vibe. You're out there riding across this massive island with the wind guiding you instead of a map marker, and it just feels peaceful. But then, 5 minutes later, you're slicing through a group of bandits with your katana, and it's all intense and gritty. That balance makes it hit different. The story is solid. It's about Jin, a samurai, trying to fight back after the Mongol invasion, but it's not just about the war, it's also about how he changes. He starts questioning tradition and doing what he has to do to protect his people, even if it means going against the samurai code. The way it's told feels grounded, and the voice acting, especially in Japanese, is really well done. Combat is clean, you can go full stealth or walk up and challenge enemies face to face like a true samurai. Both styles work, parrying and dodging feels smooth, and when you get the timing right, it just feels good. The standoffs are badass too. You wait, time it right, and take down a dude in one clean strike. This version, the director's cut, also includes the Iki Island DLC, and it's not just some throwaway extra. The new island has its own vibe, more emotional stuff for Jin's backstory, and some tough fights. It adds a nice chunk of content if you already played the base game. Visually, it's crazy how pretty this game is. Like, just riding through a forest with all the leaves falling or seeing the sunset over a field of flowers, you catch yourself stopping just to take it in. It's probably one of the best looking games on PS5, and the 60 FPS boost makes it feel even better. Death Stranding. Death Stranding is different, like really different, and it's not for everybody, but if it clicks with you, it really clicks. You play as this guy named Sam, and your whole job is basically walking across a post-apocalyptic America delivering packages. Yeah, it sounds kind of weird, and honestly it is, but that's kind of what makes it cool. At first it feels slow, you're just hiking over mountains and rivers trying not to trip and drop your stuff, but the more you play, the more it opens up. You start building roads, bridges, zip lines, all this stuff to make traveling easier, and it's weirdly satisfying. Like, you're making things better, not just for yourself, but for other players too. It's one of the few games that makes you feel like you're helping people without ever actually seeing them. The story is wild, like full-on Kojima level weird. There's babies in pods, ghost monsters called BTs, time-traveling rain, and a bunch of emotional backstory that gets deeper the longer you stick with it. Sometimes it's confusing, sometimes it's emotional, and sometimes you're just sitting there like, what the hell is going on? But it does come together in the end, and if you're into that weird sci-fi mystery kind of stuff, you'll probably dig it. Also, graphics-wise, it looks amazing. The environments are super detailed, big open spaces, snowy mountains, rainy forests, and they all feel kinda lonely but also peaceful. The soundtrack is perfect too. It kicks in at just the right time when you're walking alone, and it hits hard. It's not action-heavy, but when combat does happen, it's tense. And later on, it gives you more tools to deal with enemies, so it doesn't feel like you're always just running away. If you're looking for a fast-paced action game, this ain't it. But if you're into games that do their own thing, something slower and more thoughtful, this one's worth a shot. It's all about the journey, not the destination, and if you vibe with that, you'll probably end up loving it.
relax and be a good proton.
Huh?
Stay positive.